You've been lied to. The most dangerous people smile, expose the Dark Triad and their calculated plan.
They say evil is obvious, that the villains wear black, speak in growls, and carry the stench of malice. But what if I told you the most dangerous people smile the most? What if evil was charming, articulate, successful, maybe even admired? What if the greatest threats to your emotional well-being didn't come screaming in the night, but walked quietly into your life with a perfect grin, a persuasive voice, and a very calculated plan? This is the world of the Dark Triad. 3 personality traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy, stitched together into a psychological blueprint that doesn't just lack empathy, it exploits it. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You've already met them. You might be dating one, you might be working for one, you might be following one on social media. But before we go any further, let's be clear. This isn't about turning you into a paranoid cynic. It's about waking you up. Because once you understand how the Dark Triad works, you'll stop mistaking charm for character, and you'll start seeing people, not for who they pretend to be, but for who they really are. So let's begin. Narcissism, the golden child of the triad, the mirror gazer, the self-worshipper. But narcissism isn't just vanity. It's an addiction to identity, an unrelenting hunger to be admired, validated, and seen as special at all costs. The narcissist doesn't just want praise, they need it to survive. Like a star collapsing under its own gravity, they consume attention to avoid the terrifying abyss of their own emptiness. They inflate their achievements, erase their failures, and surround themselves with people who mirror back the image they've crafted. And when you stop feeding the fantasy, they discard you just like that. Now add Machiavellianism to the mix, the strategist. Inspired by the political writings of Niccolo Machiavelli, this trait is all about manipulation, deception, and control. For the Machiavellian, people are tools. Relationships are transactions. Empathy is weakness. They don't care if you're happy. They care if you're useful. They'll flatter you, agree with you, even pretend to love you, if it gets them what they want. And once they've gotten it, they'll ghost you without a second thought. Finally, we come to the darkest thread, psychopathy. Contrary to Hollywood tropes, not all psychopaths are serial killers. Most aren't violent at all, but what defines them is this: a cold, callous detachment from emotional consequence. They don't feel guilt, they don't feel remorse, they don't bond like we do. Imagine making someone cry and feeling absolutely nothing. Not pride, not shame, just indifference. That's the mind of a psychopath. Now, imagine all 3 traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy coexisting in one person. That's the Dark Triad, a personality cocktail capable of seduction, deception, and destruction, often without ever breaking a sweat. And here's where it gets eerie. People with high Dark Triad traits are disproportionately found in positions of power. Corporate CEOs, politicians, influencers, cult leaders. They rise, not despite their darkness, but often because of it. Their charm disarms. Their confidence attracts. Their ruthlessness clears the path. It's no accident that some of the most successful people in society are also the most emotionally dangerous, because we often mistake charisma for character. We reward assertiveness, even when it masks cruelty. We promote those who can manipulate systems and people.
In 1978, over 900 people died in Jonestown, Guyana, victims of mass suicide orchestrated by cult leader Jim Jones. He began as a charismatic preacher, a social activist. People loved him, but beneath the charisma was a master manipulator, with clear signs of all 3 Dark Triad traits: narcissistic delusions of grandeur, Machiavellian control tactics, psychopathic coldness in orchestrating death. Or look at corporate fraudster Bernie Madoff, the man behind the largest Ponzi scheme in history. He wasn't just deceptive, he was admired, trusted. He wore the mask perfectly, and he destroyed thousands of lives without flinching. Now, let's bring it closer to home. Think about that manager who plays favorites, lies with ease, and throws others under the bus without blinking. Think about the ex who love-bombed you, manipulated you, isolated you, then vanished when you needed them most. Not everyone who hurts you is part of the Dark Triad, but everyone in the Triad knows how to blend in until it's too late. So how do you recognize them? Pay attention to patterns, not apologies. They're often charming at first, but leave trails of broken relationships, shallow friendships, and unresolved drama. They rarely take responsibility. They twist narratives. You're always the problem. They're always the victim or the hero. They use people like ladders, stepping up, then discarding. And if you confront them, they won't self-reflect. They'll retaliate, silently or explosively, but always with intent. But here's the twist. We all have a shadow self. Every one of us is capable of manipulation, pride, or emotional coldness under pressure. The Dark Triad exists on a spectrum. It's not black and white. It's gray, complicated, human. In some contexts, Dark Triad traits can even offer short-term success. A politician navigating ruthless systems, a surgeon detaching from empathy to save a life, a CEO making hard, unpopular decisions. But the danger lies in imbalance, when strategy becomes cruelty, when confidence becomes delusion, when detachment becomes dehumanization. So what do? We start by examining ourselves. Where do we seek control instead of connection? Where do we manipulate, even subtly? What masks do we wear? Because it's not enough to spot the darkness in others. We have to face it in ourselves, or risk becoming exactly what we fear. And next, we build boundaries, strong, unapologetic ones. Dark Triad individuals thrive in chaos, in blurred lines, in silence. But when you start asking questions, when you stop reacting and start observing, you disrupt their game. Don't play it. Don't try to beat them at manipulation. You won't win. Just recognize, disengage, move with clarity, and remember, empathy is a gift, but it's not a debt. You don't owe anyone access to your life just because they demand it with a smile. The world will always have darkness, but light doesn't come from ignoring it. It comes from understanding it and choosing differently. So the next time someone seems too perfect, too charming, too calculated, pause. Look closer. What's underneath the mask? Because the truth is, not all monsters hide under your bed. Some sit across from you, smiling. If this made you think, good, that was the point. We don't grow by avoiding uncomfortable truths. We grow by facing them.